Hello, everyone, and welcome to the draw for the quarterfinals of the FFUK Cup. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And I've got some special guests with me. I've obviously got Bakes because it's a cup draw. I have to have Bakes here. Thank you very much for joining us, Bakes. How you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you, Chris?
Good, thank you. Yeah, and I've got James here. James, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. Good to see you. And you're going to be helping us with the draw in a moment. And also we've got Damo with us. How are you doing, Damo?
Good, yeah, great. Pleasure to be on as always.
Excellent. And thank you for joining us. And thanks everyone for joining us who's watching. We thought we'd probably just go straight into the draw, but we've got some other stuff lined up for you as well. We're going to talk about the milk plate, and we've got a little update on the Champions League, and then we're going to do some Room 101 for the first time ever. See how that goes. So yeah, we're going to do that. But without further ado, let's get this draw underway. James, so are you ready there? Have you got your...
Okay, yeah, it's all in the little books here.
Excellent.
Okay.
It's all been verified and whatever else needs to happen.
All 128 names? No, I'm joking.
Better not be.
Okay.
So 8 names.
So are we ready with the first name?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. Let's go for it.
So, okay, the first name is Tina Whitehouse.
Okay, Tina. And who will... Okay, Tina, so she's up first.
Who's she going to play?
Tina will be playing...
Some big names in this draw.
Steve Cronin. Steve Cronin. Unlucky Tina.
Okay, well, that's a good tie.
Well, we'll see.
Absolutely. Yeah, so these ties as well, they're going to be played the month of March. Right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
excellent. As we're doing this, I'll just check how many game weeks there are in March. I'm not sure.
There we go. And Steve's tuned in, watching. So Steve's got his tie straight out. Stay with us, Steve. We've hopefully got some more ties.
Don't go yet, Steve.
Don't
go yet. There's plenty more to come. Okay, next tie we have Malik Monsieur, sorry.
Malik. Okay, excellent.
And Malik will be playing Mark Harrison.
Okay. Mark's in the WhatsApp group. So there is only 2 more people from the WhatsApp group remaining out of the 4 teams.
Okay.
Myself and Darren.
So hopefully Darren's tuned in. Mark Leatham.
Are the boys going to be kept apart until the end?
Against.
Well, we'll find.
Here we go. Detention. One of our top 2.
Is it Chris?
Clayton Deacon.
Oh, no. Okay, that means
it's like the Manchester Derby coming up. The top 2 facing off.
I'd like to say well done to Clayton for his historic victory in the last round.
Did he beat you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's find out before we go then, James. Let's find out how did that go then, your tie? Obviously, you didn't
it started off terribly. After the first week, he went about 40 points above me and climbed above me in the league as well, which was quite upsetting. But throughout the month, I didn't clear anything back. I didn't claw it back. Yeah. And then I was 30 points behind last week. And thought, okay, I'll triple captain Kane because I knew he didn't have Kane. Yeah. And if Kane had got 1 goal and 1 more bonus point, I'd have been through. But he didn't, so well done, Clayton.
Yeah, no fair
play. Sal let you down as well, coming off early.
9 really points. Just needed an assist. Just 1 assist.
I know.
Or 3 bonus points.
Even if you had got the bonus points in the first game, which you usually would when you strikers come.
I know. Well, I was like, Tottenham have won 4-0. How can Kane only get 1? What?
Outrageous. Outrageous.
Yeah. There we go.
Anyway,
but I'm back above him in the league now.
Good.
So
okay, okay, we better just complete the draw for the formality.
Okay. So I'm pretty sure we know who this one is.
Yeah, so that's me.
Chris
I've got
Galloway.
Nice
cushy home draw.
Easy.
And no, there's no more now. No, I'm joking. There is a name, and it's Darren Russell.
Wonderful. Look at that.
Okay.
There we go then. Well, it's on, Daz. Okay, excellent.
So I'll just confirm we've got Tina Whitehouse versus Steve Cronin, Malik Mansour versus Mark Harrison, Mark Leatham versus Clayton Deakin, and Chris Galloway versus Darren Russell. Wow.
Top two.
Excellent. Not bad. Well, that's second and third. Steve's favourite.
Is Steve still top?
Yeah,
Daz was top. I hadn't looked at it.
Everyone knows that Chris is favourite, though. For the league.
No chance.
Yeah.
Honestly,
come on.
He's fingering those chips in his pocket.
Jamie predicted I'd win the FFUK last season. He predicted it, and I had my worst ever season. So I'm not the favourite at the moment, but in my head anyway. So
you're like Pep last year. It didn't quite work out, and then you've just come storming back into it this year.
Actually, and also I've got all my excuses lined up already. So yeah, absolutely, yeah, no problem. No, I'm looking forward to that though. Daz in the cup. I might have to. I'll have to take a closer look. I look at his team from time to time anyway. I'm sure he looks at mine. But that's excellent. Okay, so we've also got the milk plate, which is in the quarterfinal stages as well.
That's right.
So, Banks, can you give us a little update there?
Yeah, so we don't need to do a draw for the milk plate because it's all sort of predetermined at the start of the competition. First up, great to see that Justin McCarthy's through. He beat our resident professional FPLer, Josh Paxman, 413 to 405.
Close, very close.
So Justin's through to the quarters, where he will play James Simpson. Actually, he's one of our
okay.
That's
a good tie.
So that's a good tie in the quarterfinals. So that's the in the top bracket, if you will. And then we've got Stephen Almond versus John Stevens, followed by Dan Briety versus Joseph Mulhern. And then finally, in the bottom bracket, we've got Chris Smith, who's flying high in the league as well, I think. I think he's about fifth in the league, something like that, against Robert Simpson. And so we're still on, which is great for the Simpson derby for the final. They've been kept apart in different halves of the draw, Roberts and James. So if they get through to the final, then it'll be James Simpson versus Robert Simpson.
Excellent.
I don't know. I quite like the prospect of that.
Yeah,
Simpson derby, the Springfield Cup.
Yeah, it's Springfield Cup. If it is, we should rename it that after them.
I think we should.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a big call. If he wants to, if the winner wants to pay for sponsorship rights next season. Okay. What about Champions League? Anything? What's happened there?
So Champions League. This was the first week of the Champions League. It does start off with a bit of a whimper, unfortunately. As I always say, don't blame me, blame UEFA. So it starts with the preliminary round semi-final. So only 4 teams contested the Champions League this week, and we had Jamie Stewart versus Steve Coffin, if you remember, in one of those 2 ties, which Jamie won comfortably 110-74, so he goes through. And in the other tie, John Gleeson beat Ben Wright 92-89. So we go now through to the preliminary round final, which is Jamie versus John. So Jamie representing Linfield and John representing Interclub de Escalares of Andorra. And the winner of that then will join the first qualifying round in game week 28, where there are a total of, I think, 17 ties, something like that. So 33 more teams will join at that stage, including, I think, you, Damo. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm one of them. A team from, is it the Faroe Islands?
I think the Faroe Islands, key of the Faroe Islands. And you're up against Josh Paxman. You've got the
our resident professional
take on Josh.
And our teams aren't overly dissimilar at this stage. Obviously, a few game weeks to make a couple of transfers in between, but yeah.
And then you know what? After that, it's going to be game week 29, which is that funny blank game week where there's only about 8 teams playing or something. That's going to be an interesting one in the second qualifying round.
Yeah, free chip could be very useful. If your opponent has free chip, you might be
tempted.
You might be in trouble.
Okay.
Anyway, cool. That's the Champions League.
Brilliant. So, and obviously we'll be back for the next. It'll be the semi-final draw next, won't it? Which is where it gets.
Yeah. And I looked
Really?
up, actually, March has only got 3 game weeks in it. Interesting. So it is a bit of a, it's more of a sprint than a marathon, this one. There must be an international break or something.
Because this game week, when I ran I run a work league as well, and I did the manager of the month for February, and it includes all the March games that just happened because they're in that game week. So even though they happened in March, they're counted as February.
That's right. I think because it kicked off on the 28th or something.
Yeah. It's always the date it kicks off, isn't it? Okay, brilliant. So that we're up to date with the cups, and we'll be back for the next one. And obviously, I've got a bit of a tie ahead of me, but let's do some Room 101. So if you've seen the TV program Room 101, it's quite simple. Simple idea. We're going to each take one idea we've got that we want to put into Room 101, and it's something football related, possibly fantasy football related, depending on what we choose. And then I've got the pleasure of being able to decide for James, Bakes and Damo. And I will decide what goes into Room 101. And then on my choice, you guys can have a vote each and you can decide how it goes in. So I think that's probably the best way to work it. We'll give it a go. If it's any good, we'll probably just do one round for now and then maybe do another one next time. We'll see. Anyway, so James, as you did the draw so beautifully, let's do yours first.
Thank you.
So what is your thing that you would like to put into Room 101?
Firstly, I'd like to put Damo's hair into Room 101. I think he's showing the others. He's showing I was hoping for 4 eggs, but we won't go there. I just want to.
You should see me a month ago. I did do a locked in.
When commentators refer to players and put the S on the end, so it's all about your Lampards, your Gerrards, your Henrys, your Grealishes, your and just adding that on, and then by extension of that, the teams like the Tottenhams, the Arsenals, and it's like, just say who you were talking about.
Exactly.
So they don't need to say Gerrards and Lampard. They don't need to say that with the S. Yeah. And also, if you really have to say it with an S at the end, you only have to say one of them. You don't have to list off like 20 teams. Like you can say your Leeds Uniteds and it refers to the teams around Leeds. You don't need to then say Aston Villa.
So would it be your Leedses? Because that would be a hell of a mouthful, wouldn't it?
I don't like that.
Your Leedses, your Dallases.
That's doubly bad. Doubly bad. Yeah, and then it's so annoying. I mean, they could just say Gerrard Lampard rather than your Gerrards and your Lampards.
Players
like Gerrard, like Lampard, like Pirlo.
And that's a nice segue, Chris, because as you say, by extension, James, also a new thing that started was Frank Lampard's Chelsea, Wayne Rooney's Derby. I mean, these clubs established 100 years are suddenly now just owned by who's a really popular player in the 2000s and 90s. It's like just forgotten their actual name.
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. No one says Tuchel's Chelsea. It's not Tuchel's Chelsea now, exactly. So it's crazy. I agree, and it's. I guess how would you sort of categorize this? If you were categorizing it, because it's not just as like James said, it's almost like lazy commentating, lazy punditry.
To be honest, I'd probably put like at least 50% of pundits in Room 101. If there was room,
Steve
I'd just
McMahon would be opening the door for them.
But Martin Neon would be definitely shouting in his face like,
Robbie Savage should be going serving around the hors d'oeuvres in there.
Alan Smith as well. Just the most boring man in the world.
The problem we have here is normally there should be some like playing devil's advocate. It's quite hard to have any balance on this argument. Which probably means it's going to go into Room 101, to be fair. But maybe that's a nice starter. So I'll tell you what. Let's put that into Room 101. I think you can't really argue there, can we? James.
Can we put Andy Townsend in there with it, who's kind of responsible for all this?
Well, Chris.
He is. Yeah.
We could, although I think maybe if we keep doing this, I think the actual commentators will come into this probably even more. People will start talking about it. But yeah, no, that's definitely going in. Okay.
Thank you, Chris Callaway's apple bacon.
Exactly. Okay, right. Bakes, what's your thing that you'd like to put into 101?
It's team lists and the way they appear on social media. So if you're on Twitter or you're on Facebook, and as we're looking at this, an hour before kickoff, and the team list is announced, and you look down the list of names, and you're scratching your head immediately as to what does this all mean? Because they list them in squad number order, not in any sense or semblance of what the actual team like. And I just harken back to those days when they were just 1 to 11. Can't we just have them 1 to? Then we know what's going on, because it's like you've got the striker listed second because they happen to be number 9, and the rest of them are kids, and they're all 37 and 49. It's like, this is I can't. You look down, it's like immediately thinking Fernandez isn't playing. Because he's not in the middle where you expect him. Like, where is he? Oh no, he's the third player listed. No, the third player's supposed to be the left back. What's going on? And the worst thing is, it's not even consistent. Because I looked at the Man United lineup the other day when they played, and Henderson was listed first, despite being number 26 or something like that. He wasn't in order, so they listed the goalkeeper first, so they can do it if they want to. They can put them in the lineup order.
Some of those.
Anyway,
I would say Wolves have nailed it, though. If you look at Wolves, they put them in correct order. They put the formation. It's nice. They're on the sub bench on the left. Nice little, stylizing around their own Wolves crest and all. And if it's in the away shirts, they'll put them in the correct shirts. But yeah, a lot of them. It's almost like they're going out of the way to see who can be the most difficult with it.
Right. It's like they must pay someone to do. I mean, James, you do this for a job. They must pay someone to make those images.
Yeah.
And as Bakes said, some of them are so bad. Some of them are okay. Some of them are very stylized. The Chelsea one is very simple. It's and it's okay. But like you say, Damo, that Wolves one they've nailed it. They've absolutely nailed it. And Man United have completely got it wrong.
I think United are the worst.
Or Fulham? Did Fulham not put them in random order altogether?
Fulham's bad.
I think Fulham's is pretty bad. I can't remember what about it, but I just remember going, where, as you say, I'd rather go to the app and look at a random third-party app, and it just shows them in order.
To be honest with Fulham, I don't even know who any of their players are anyway, so it wouldn't make a huge amount of difference.
maybe teams are trying to put across that they're incredibly fluid, and the formation can change all the time during the game. And also, I like a bit of tomfoolery, and I like a bit of deception because I'm a bit of that. So
I like deception as much as the next man. Do we need it in team list?
Do you know what I think?
I quite like it because if you know nothing about football, you won't understand it. You have to know your players and who to look out for on the list.
I think
so it really doesn't bother me, if I'm honest.
They should literally nail the colours to the mast. And Manchester City, the next team, should have us a roundel, and it's a roulette wheel with all the players coming out on the random numbers. And just Pep's face in the middle, spinning around.
I think that might be another subject to go in, actually.
Yeah. I don't know anything about fancy football, and he's like changing his captain in the background.
Yeah, exactly. So again, we need some balance here. It's very hard to find any. James has sort of.
Well, James has tried manfully, but he's not done it.
No, absolutely.
I've given it a go.
I feel like everything's going to end up in room 101, and we're just a load of miserable middle-aged men. But there you go. That's probably not far.
My bit of balance would be like, it is kind of a new thing this year, and when you're very good at it, Chris, sometimes just posting the direct Twitter feeds from the team sheets, and they're colourful, and you see what jersey they're going to wear that day. So I think actually as a thing, it's nice, it's good, and it just needs more work and more, maybe go like Wolves or say Crystal Palace. I think a few teams do it right. And maybe just add a bit of consistency to put the players in the positional order, defense, midfield, and that. So I don't think getting rid of the concept altogether, but
no. I really like it when you see, where are the team sheets coming in, and we're waiting for them. and it's coming in, and then it's there, and you see it, but it is frustrating when they've laid it out in a way that you think, why wouldn't you lay it out firstly in formation, because the first thing that people want to know is how are they playing. So they can put it in formation. It doesn't. I mean, this thing of like hiding, being secretive and stuff is probably something I might put into 101, because there's a very little benefit from doing that. You're far better to say, I'm confident, this is my team, name it the day before. I honestly believe that, you know, if you like become all secretive, and, you know, Mourinho was absolute genius at it, but I don't think it's such a minuscule detail, and I think actually there's another way of doing it, and it's saying I'm confident, I'm just gonna, you know, anyway, I'm losing the subject here. So we're talking about those team sheets, but it's tricky because I want to put them in because I hate them, right, because when they get them wrong, but I also think they serve a really, really good purpose, and they are a nice addition to football and to the way we, you know, all the way we kind of experience fantasy football and everything. We're waiting for those team sheets. You know, if we put them into Room 101, do they not exist anymore, or do they just exist in the format that we want them?
Well, it's not so much the existence of the team sheets themselves and the way that they come out. That's, you know, it's incredibly useful. It's just the order. Frankly, if I'm really being honest, it's squad numbers. That's the problem here. Squad numbers.
They should be updated in the summer. If there's an available slot,
I know I'm an old.
Trent should be taking number 2.
Just 1 to 11. Why can't it just
or even 1 to 20? Even 1 to 22 or whatever it is. Why have you got to have 47? You know, where is 47 coming from?
Liverpool are particularly bad, like when you have Fabinho at 3, and then you had like 2 Nathaniel Klein left this year, 2 became available. Trent, you know, had the opportunity for that. Why not take it? 66. Nah. I know it's probably because most of the players nowadays have the numbers tattooed on their arse somewhere.
Probably.
I think it's got to the stage now with squads that we could do it like American football. So you have like number of ranges for the players. But you're complaining, and
that's what Italy
the solution with 1 to 22 in an ideal world, yes, but you're going to want to sign players through the season.
There's still something about being the number 10 or being the number 8 or being the number 5 or even being the number 1. It should be.
And there's a reason for that.
That's one that's disappeared, Damo. I think number 9. There's not many of them. But
Patricio, number 11 in goal. That drives me nuts. I know he did the first year, but he could have changed back.
That's a left winger.
We are getting away from. So okay, your thing that you wanted to put in was team sheets that are badly designed and badly formatted,
badly ordered.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that in because it really annoys me, and I'm gonna put it in for one person, and that is Jake Walker. If you're watching, because whenever it comes up, there's a few times it's happened, and he's fuming. I reckon it probably ruins his day. He's probably going out with his girlfriend, having a lovely time. And he sees one of these, and it's ruined the whole thing. It's ruined everything. So we probably ruined Christmas for him by putting a team sheet up, you know, on the Saturday before. So yeah, no, I'm going to put it in for Jake. That's going in. That's going in, definitely. Okay, right, that's in. We need next time we do this, I'm going to have some sort of animation or video for it going in. I promise. It's going to be more exciting, guys.
Yeah, we put a lever.
Yeah,
and one of us drops below either the screen.
Yeah, and if you don't, if you're not successful, maybe
just
I can turn your camera off. Yeah, exactly. Okay, Damo, you're up next. What's your
Thanks, Chris. My gripe is one that I'm pretty sure I've heard other people complain about too, and it's Sky Sports' obsession with building the transfer window up to something that it's not, which is a really exciting, important event that actually has a relevant countdown. It's simply a period of time where clubs can exchange and buy players. That's it. And it happens. And the more they'll talk about it I hate the little ticker countdown timer that runs in 1/10 of a second. Never mind even just seconds. It's, you know, like one of those bombs about to go off for 2 or 3 months through the summer, plus all the yellowness. And then the worst bit is when they do, I think it's once a day, maybe 5:30, 6:30, and they'll have Darmish and the other guy, and they're talking about it like they were negotiating Brexit or the vaccine rollout. And they'll turn and break the fourth wall, look right down deep and scream about deal sheets and this. And I remember the last time I watched it, and I couldn't watch it since, was when they were talking about Frank Lampard getting in these players. And this is the quality and caliber of having a manager like Frank Lampard. He's got these guys on his phone. He's ringing. I'm like, what shite are they talking? And it's just such a lot of waffle. And then finally, my last point on it that I just really get irritated by is then apparently this window has slammed shut. There is no actual window that could physically slam shut. It's a period of time. It's a date in the calendar, and a clock has elapsed. So it's not slamming shut. Stop wearing the silly yellow ties. Only for Hayley McQueen, I don't think I could watch any of it. And that is the one bit when, you see that. But we want to budge.
Haven't they missed a trick here? Having an actual window that somebody slams shut.
Glass shattering ever.
I mean, they've had meetings where they've talked about maybe doing that. Can we make this more exciting? Because it does feel like, you're right. If they could have a firework display to commemorate it every time, they would. It's madness, isn't it?
Bring back the days like where you had the dildos going into the side of the reporters outside Goodison Park. I mean, that to me was peak transfer window, and after that, it's never going to be the same. Or it was that you had sitting in a car outside. It was a QPR West Brom player.
Peter Odom-Wingy, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. And he had to try home on his own.
On him, have you seen? He's a complete conspiracy theorist nut now.
Really?
That's
at the moment of the edge.
Just go on his Twitter, Peter Odom-Wingy. It's like, oh my god, what the hell are you talking about, man? Crazy guy. But there you go. Okay, so transfer deadline day again. Like, it's very hard to have an argument against it. Although I would go on, Bakes. You've got an argument against it.
I was going to say. I mean, we loved the whole Peter Odom-Wingy incident. I mean, it was just absolute theatre, and I just wonder whether we'd get that without all the giant build-up that Sky does. Doesn't this all sort of self-perpetuate? And the more that people are really building this thing up, the more that people just go a bit crazy on the last day and go and park themselves in QPR's car park or whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe we'll never get those little nuggets again if we don't have Sky Sports doing all that.
I want to see 17-year-olds doing wanker signs behind people's backs.
Who doesn't love
You're not going to get that.
They stopped all that.
They stopped all that. They have, haven't they? Last time. But I quite like having a big countdown to a totally random, irrelevant day in my life. Every time I put on the TV, being able to see a countdown to a random day is brilliant. So I don't think it should go.
If at least, I think Darmish himself and the other guy, whose name I can't remember, the way they at least put them in the room. That's all I ask.
No, that's not. You're changing the rules now, Damien. There are rules here, and you wanted to put transfer deadline day into the.
Transfer deadline, the whole window thing that Sky do.
The whole package. There's bits of it that we love, though. There is bits of it that we love.
Yeah.
Hayley McQueen. Let's be fair. If there is a transfer, it is quite exciting. It's like someone has maybe got his papers in, or whatever. The printer's broken, the fax machine's not working.
Machine. The only time when fax machines are used.
David De Gea, his whole life changed on the back of a fax machine.
And do you remember that Robbie Savage going up to that random car in the car park?
Oh yeah, thinking it was someone else. Did he think it was someone else?
Well, he just went out to like a Vauxhall Nova or something, pretended to get in the driver's seat, and then he could open the door, and he was, and then he sort of started laughing, and then got in his Range Rover.
I think this year was a big anticlimax specifically because of COVID, and there's less transfers happening. They tried to make something happen that wasn't really happening.
I agree, and I think that's absolutely their problem, is that they don't sort of recognise maybe that they're completely over the top and they've taken it too far, and they need to actually just dial it back a bit. But I'm not going to put it in, Damo, and mainly because I've put everything else in, and I've got to put everything. The reason I'm not going to put it in is because we do kind of love it deep down.
There was some good arguments back to it. I'll accept defeat.
And that's the point. That's the point of why we do this. So I'm not going to put that one in. But you get to get your own back because I'm going to have a go. I'm going to put one up and we'll have a quick discussion. My one is dodgy warm-up kits and limited edition kits and all this, having 5 kits a season and all this. So that's what I put in, and it's pretty simple, really. I think takes the mick out of the fans. It's not fair, having to spend. How much is a kit? How much does the kit cost nowadays? A new kit?
50 quid.
No,
50
more
pounds.
than that. More than that.
Well, if you're a Leeds fan, it's a bit cheaper.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, no, okay. Let's say
they're trying to promote their brand a bit more.
If it's £50,
I think for United, I think it is about 10 or dearer if you're United or Liverpool or that. I don't know, James, what about Villa kit? But I bought the Leeds away kit this year for the first time in many years, and it was £50.
50 quid, and then you've got maybe a family member who also goes with you or loves the football. You've got to get them one, and kids, and
then you've got to get the shorts. You've got to get the socks,
and also my problem. If they did 2 kits, a home and away, no problem. You buy the one you like, no problem. But they do a 3rd kit, which you don't need because the 3rd kit very rarely needs to be worn. And the other thing is they wear these kits sometimes just for the sake of it. Sometimes they actually wear it and they make the kit clashes worse. The whole point of having a second kit is supposed to be that the kit looks better. Like, you can differentiate the kits. What was it I saw the other day? Man United and who was it? It was red and black, and they played in red and black, or red and dark green. It was Man United Liverpool, and Liverpool played in dark green, and Man United played in their red. And for anyone with colour blindness, which is 1 in 10 people, they can't see that. And it's ridiculous. Why would you do that?
To our clubs, take you back to December, Chris, when Leeds played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And as I say, I bought this lovely away jersey. So we've white, and then we've a green and navy. I mean, you can't get more different than that. And they come out in this maroon kit against Chelsea. So, I mean, they could have ordered white anyway, but the green and navy would have been fine.
Why would you wear your white?
Coming up to Christmas, and they want to sell more of the 3rd jersey. It's the only reason they wore it. I think the 3rd jersey should be there if the previous 2 will clash. You go down in order: first clash, second clash, and then the 3rd.
But if one is blue and one is white, it's very rare. Okay, as you play a team with blue and white stripes, I guess. Oh, I don't know. It's just infuriating.
So I'll pose a counter argument, Chris. What happens if those first 2 kits? What happens if they're just not your colours that you like wearing? And you go out, they just don't match your wardrobe, Chris. And you need something like the Man City warm-up kit or whatever it is with the paisley and all of that. I mean, it's it's got a little extra style.
Man United's camouflage kit the other night for warm-up, red and black camouflage.
The one that you're talking about is a WhatsApp background. So they've probably paid someone an awful amount of money to design a kit for them, and he's just sent them his WhatsApp background.
Yeah.
It's not good, man. It's not good. And if you walk in, if you pay 60 quid for that, then you're a mug, as far as I'm concerned. But I get that maybe it's the kids that like this kind of thing.
But that's the thing. And can we judge as
I don't know. James, I know you're more of a fan of this stuff than me.
Well, I love all this shit. If I'm being honest, the paisley kits, they're like the Man United, that away shirt, the zebra one, it's horrendous. It's horrendous. I love it. I love it. And I will still have it. It's awful, but I love it.
I do think this year there's been some quality.
I'll share a few pictures on WhatsApp, but there's the Arsenal one, which is like a tie-dye hand drawn. It's supposed to be the concept behind that. The Pharrell special edition Adidas.
I thought you might have something to do
with
it.
They did the United, the Juventus, all the Adidas teams that are retro enough to have an old Adidas shirt and are still part of the Adidas brand at the moment. But yeah, they're great, and they were hand drawn by kids. So the Real Madrid one has got like a dragon drawn on it.
You can't throw that.
It's not for the kids. It's not for the kids, and no one will get any money from it. It's not. It's not for charity. It's not for any of that. It's for money and marketing. But it's worked on me, guys. It's
Chris, what have
worked
you
on
got
me,
against,
and I
what have you
love
got
all
against the
that
kids,
shit.
Chris? Why don't you like the
No,
kids?
no, it's not that I don't like
You've never really liked kids, Chris,
bringing the
and you've
kids
always had a
into the
problem with
argument.
UNICEF, if I remember too.
I can't stand UNICEF and everything they stand for. No, absolutely. No, didn't they sponsor Barcelona actually? UNICEF, so maybe I don't like them. Actually.
What it was actually, Barcelona
Only their
allowed them
bums.
the front sponsorship for free.
Barcelona
Actually,
is
I think they donated. They donated
Barcelona.
money to UNICEF.
Can we get this straight? Barcelona is so corrupt that they thought we better have a charity as our sponsor just to make it look like we're not quite.
Guys,
they donated the front, of their jersey for a number of years to UNICEF, and then sold out to Qatar. And went completely the other direction, and free Azerbaijaners under the fire Azerbaijan. So they made up for it in space.
Acorns, local Birmingham hospice.
That's good. It's good.
No, I think actually a Villa
but now with their gambling company and all the
Villa this year with the green is nice.
Gambling will come up again, I'm sure. But I would say green kits is another thing. And as an Irishman, Damien, you might argue with this one, but why would you have a green kit? The game's played on a green pitch. It's mental.
I was just complimenting the Villa away. I love it. I think Everton's colours are great. The grey and green. Leeds have green and Spurs have green. Well, Leeds is green and navy stripes, but Spurs have green. I think they're all awesome. I love them. So away kits, I wouldn't let you put in room 101, but the third dodgy warm-up kits...
Well,
I will say this: the American teams, I think, have got it right, and I think what we should do is, go down that road where your home kit is like one solid color, and your away kit is white or grey, and then that's it.
Oh, is that
it? Every American sport, 2 kits. That's it. Not that. Get rid of the stripes, all this stripes and hoops nonsense.
We'll be getting close to the 4 kits before we get back to 2.
Can't have white as your home kit. Can't have that solid color. White is your away kit.
Okay, so you guys have got to decide now. So it's technically what I was doing. It was dodgy warm-up kits, special limited edition kits, but also third kits, green kits, all that. So that's what I'm putting in. So James, what's your vote? Does it go in or not?
No, sorry, Chris. No, not at all.
No worries. Paul, what's your vote?
I'm going to put them in. They've just got out of hand. It's got to stop.
Oh, I mean, Damo, you get the casting vote.
A deciding vote. Well, I think I have to say you've got me a good time in a year where Leeds went maroon, which is very close to red, which is very close to Manchester, which I never thought would happen. So Leeds, I'm sorry, boys, you went too far this year. Third kits and dodgy warm-up kits go in room 101.
Excellent. So three of our nominations have gone into room 101. We'll update the sheet. We might have to share it with people if anyone's ever interested. And we'll do this again. I reckon it's been fun. Thank you, everyone, for watching. And thank you, James, for being with us. Thanks for doing the draw, James.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Been a pleasure, guys.
Thanks, Bakes, for doing all the cup stuff. And thank you, Damo, for just doing what you do.
I could say one final thing. I think I'd speak for a lot of people this week when we say you could chuck the bench boost in room 101 for this week. It's been an epic fail for just about everyone, I reckon, which makes me feel somewhat better. But I'm one of those.
Yeah, but I haven't used mine yet, so we'll keep that on. And on that note, thank you, everyone.
See you soon. Best of luck.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.